woman's place in the world is to marry, be in the kitchen, sweat working in the fields, a baby-making machine, to raise families, to always keep a head down and never to question what the men are doing.
I'm a partner at Scanlon and Holderness. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter. I became a partner within 3.5 years of starting work, which is like a record. The second female in the history of the firm. Our firm is 122 years old.
My name is Natalie Jabangwe Morris. I am the General Manager and Executive Head of Business for EcoCash Zimbabwe.
My name is Gladys Kanyongo. I'm the General Manager of Small and Medium Enterprises Development Corporation, SMEDCO.
My name is Aretha Mare, and I'm a Director at Tech Women Zimbabwe.
My name is Mary Jane. I'm a Director at PwC. I'm responsible specifically for IT risk assurance within PwC. I've been with the firm for 12 years now, and I'm responsible for providing advisory and assurance technology services across Africa.
My first question to each of you would be, are there any areas in which women could and should participate in the ICT revolution in Africa?
I think from a legal point of view, there needs to be a lot more women who are trained and skilled enough to participate in regulatory issues.
60% of the production on the African continent today is driven by women, and yet we only have 6% of women that are represented in formal employment. Statistics also tell us that of the women that are leading, of the 16% of companies, Fortune 500 companies that are being led by women, guarantee a return at least on investment for profitability of up to 16%.
We have noticed that women lag behind in terms of science, technology, engineering, and math. And we envision ourselves becoming the leading cradle of female-led innovations. So when we're talking about the ICT revolution in Africa, we're talking about the mobile penetration, internet penetration rate. We're talking about mobile money transfers.
Glad someone is working on the digital gap that exists with women from a very tender age. I think for women my generation, we met computers in varsity.
There's so much that needs to be done and so much educating that needs to take place. When we look at people and relationships between people, we talk about rights, isn't it? You have the right to access to education, access to health, access to information. And that's what ICT should be about.
A lot still needs to be done in terms of infrastructure development, especially for the rural areas. The balance needs to be there, so that where we have 97% literacy rate in Zimbabwe in terms of education, why can't we get 97% literacy rate in terms of ICT?
We have a new term has been coined, the manel, a panel consisting only of males for whatever the topic. And I think while it sounds sweet and nice and like dressing, I think if there were genuine commitment by everyone to never again have a manel on any ICT related topic, everybody would be surprised.
I very much support education and awareness. I think the only way, or one of the ways that we can be able to allow women's views to be put in policies is to make them aware and to go out to those communities, to the rural communities, and find out what they need, what will apply to them, before we just put something in policies that may not maybe address their problem.
With all the promotion and the drive that you have, one, are we not going to increase the vulnerability of women? Two, is Africa ready for cybercrime? For those who are actually promoting the tech, are we ready for cybercrime? And do we have systems in place to safeguard women? Because we can promote one thing but further open up another avenue of vulnerability.
What I think is the strength of women that many of us do not realize most times is that we have issues that are also specific to us. that do not involve men that much. Most panels where we have only women, it ends up being, for lack of another word, kind of a contest against men. And we end up taking pride in the fact that I was the first woman to do this, I was the first woman to do that, which to me is not very relevant or important. What's very relevant and important to me is how many other women came after you, how many other women you brought into it after you.
And as much as there are few men that shape the image that they want women suppressed and everything else, there are actually more of a majority of men right now that want to see women rise up as well. So I think the first fundamental thing that has to shape the movement of women empowerment is to dispel the notion that first of all, you're competing against men. Two, that you want to be better than men. But it's actually just being, such a creating a platform of equality and empowerment. But once is that competitive element, then also the cooperation from men will come with, how would I put it delicately? It'll be challenging to get.
And somehow we're going to figure out how we're going to put a publication together, and we're going to start sharing those stories. We're going to make it a priority this year to at least get out some kind, even if it's an electronic publication, that's, you know, in the spirit of tech. But we're going to gather stories and start inspiring girls with all these stories, all your stories. So that is something that we're going to do. The second thing we're definitely going to do is create more platforms like this. Anyone interested in partnering or participating, getting involved, being a panelist, if you know someone who you think is amazing and you want her voice to be heard, we're going to do this, and we're going to do more of these.